Insoles like these are often considered to be helpful for knee problems like meniscus tears. In this video, I'll be giving you my honest physical therapist opinion of insoles for knee pain, and I'll also be answering the question, can insoles be helpful for a meniscus tear? Let me just give you some information about insoles first, because many people don't quite understand them. They know they go in your shoe and they're supposed to be helpful somehow, but how do they work exactly and what the heck are they made from? So insoles are made from pieces of material, usually combinations of material. Like on this one, if I get real close here, you can see layers of different materials there. There's 3, and then on the back you have this harder plastic and this orange cushiony thing. This is for running, and this is for more intense running. You have this heel cup here that's got more hard plastic and it's got these bumps on it. And then these are more for casual walking, just casual use. They're not as thick on the heel, but they're also not as cushiony, but they're still cushiony. These are definitely a lot softer. So they're made of different foam materials, fabric, plastic, and what these do is you put them inside your shoe, usually replacing the insole that comes in your shoe. The insole is many times removable. Sometimes it's glued or sewn into the bottom of your shoe, but athletic shoes tend to have a removable insole that's very cheap, because the sole of the shoe is supposed to be of good quality, but you might add this into your shoe in order to get extra support or very specific support if you're looking for arch support as you have here, or heel support, or sometimes there's issues that you're trying to address out towards the front of your foot. These insoles that I have in my hands are over-the-counter insoles, or in other words, are prefabricated insoles. They're not custom made, because that's another option you can get. You can go see a orthotist or somebody who designs insoles based on your specific foot. You're usually going to be referred to an orthotist from a podiatrist or possibly a chiropractor or physical therapist as well, because those people are sometimes sending people to get specific custom-made orthotics or insoles. And I say orthotics, it's interchangeable with insoles. That's just the medical term that's used. Insoles is the more common general term for things that you put inside your shoe to help out a foot or a leg problem. Now let's talk about the pros of this, and then we'll get into the cons as well. Slipping something like this inside your shoe is so easy to do. I think that the ease of just putting something in your shoe is a huge pro. If it's right for you, if it's going to help you out, you'll notice an almost instant improvement in your ability to be on your feet for longer amounts of time and just enjoy being out and up on your feet more. Because often people with knee problems run into limitations in how long they can be on their feet, and it could be related to footwear. Over-the-counter insoles like these tend to be very affordable. They start at about $10. Sometimes you can find them under $10, and they range up to $100 or even more sometimes. And usually you get what you pay for with these. They're usually better materials and they'll last you longer if you pay more for them, and they're usually designed better too the more you pay. Let's talk about some cons of these. When we're talking about the prefabricated insoles, you might need to trim them, and sometimes people have difficulty with getting them because they'll come in like small, medium, or large, or a one-size-fits-all deal. And if you have a smaller foot and you're trying to fit a bigger insole into a smaller shoe, you might need to trim back quite a bit of fabric, and for some people that's an issue. It might be better to go custom if that's what you want to do. You also can't use these in all your shoes. I mean, what about sandals and flip-flops? Obviously you can't put that in there. There are companies out there that make custom-made flip-flops or sandals so that you have proper support, and there's some that make prefabricated sandals or flip-flops that just have good support compared to, you know, those cheap ones that you might get for a few bucks or under $10 at places. Now, custom orthotics do get quite pricey. This could be a con. They're usually going to be over $100 and can even exceed $1,000 in some cases that I've heard of. Whether it's custom or prefabricated insoles, you'll definitely need to experiment a bit. Usually with custom insoles, you'll have to take them back to the fabricator and get them adjusted. They won't necessarily make you brand new ones. They might. It just depends on what their process is like. But when it comes to the prefabricated, the over-the-counter ones, what I recommend is buy a few different ones, try them out. You might even try them out in the store before you purchase them if you don't want to do that. But if you're ordering them off Amazon, like I put links in the description to get this on Amazon, that's where I got these. Then you can buy several and then return the ones that don't work for you. So that trial and error could be an issue for some people. I've seen a lot of people just try one insole and they don't like it, and then they decide that no insoles work for them. But in reality, there's probably one out there that's going to benefit you if you have the right kind of problem, which I'll talk more about coming up. But just one more con, some people will unnecessarily rely on insoles. Once they found an insole that works for them, I have to kind of wean them off of it if appropriate, because in some cases you can get strength in your foot muscles, so you don't have to rely on these. Although it's not a bad idea to use these in the long term, but what I don't like to have my patients do if they can is feel like they always need to be using insoles, otherwise they can't go run or walk or do XYZ. You should be able to develop the strength necessary if you've got the right kind of foot and knee problem to be able to walk barefoot, be able to walk in sandals on occasion. But your primary walking shoes, you might be using insoles on a consistent basis, but you shouldn't have to rely on them all the time. For me, this is a psychological con because there's usually an underlying root problem, a muscle issue, a weakness that needs to be addressed for you to get to the point where you don't need to rely on insoles for the long term. Now, let me tell you my honest opinion of using insoles for meniscus injuries. If you have fallen arches, then you're more predisposed to getting knee pain. One of those types of pains you might have could be a meniscus issue, a tear to your meniscus. And the way that works, let me show you in the skeleton here. Here's the arch of the foot. If when you put weight through your leg, your arch flattens out, this part of your foot goes down towards the ground, then I would consider you to have fallen arches. If you have the ability to make an arch, if you curl your toes and an arch forms in your foot, or if you pick up your foot from the ground and you have an arch, then this is the perfect situation where an insole that has good arch support like this one can be beneficial for your meniscus problem. Because chances are you have some weakness in your foot muscles. It's usually the toe flexors, the ones that curl your toes, that are not strong enough to help support the arch. And if you get into an insole like this, if you put this in your shoe, then that arch can be positioned upwards. And when that arch raises up, it changes the way the ankle joint is positioned, which changes the way the knee joint is positioned. It generally aligns everything better, and it gives you relief. It's usually a minor amount of relief. Some people can get quite a bit of relief, but it's not the full picture. There's more to fixing a meniscus problem than simply putting insoles inside your shoes. Now, how do you get long-term relief for a meniscus problem? Well, there's usually a bigger muscle imbalance in addition to the toes. Sometimes glute muscles are weak, even abdominals need to be looked at. And other muscles may become more dominant because you may have developed a compensation where certain muscles are being used primarily when you should be using other muscles. Figuring that out requires a good reflection on yourself. We actually have a program called the Knee Meniscus Recovery Program that goes into great detail in identifying that. And we have a ton of information available for free here on YouTube as well. Just go down into the description to check out our playlist called Knee Meniscus Help, where you'll find lots of great information. And if you want to learn more about that Knee Meniscus Recovery Program, you'll find the link in the description for that as well. Hey, hope this video was helpful for you. Please give us a thumbs up, share this with somebody you think needs to hear this, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our helpful videos. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.